County of Trinidad's Historic Preservation meeting for August 13th, 2025. Can we have roll call, please?
Lisa?
Here.
Matthew?
Here.
Derek?
Here. Item 2, public comments. Having none, we'll move on. Item 3, approval of the minutes for June 11th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Motion made.
I'll second.
Second. Vote, please.
Derek?
Yes.
Matthew?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Alright.
Alright, public hearings, none. Item 5, old business, none. Item 6, new business. We have Carrie Gabrielson, the grant writer.
No, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Carrie. Thanks for inviting me. I've been working with Tara off and on for a little over a year, so I'm sure she's updated you along the way. But last year, we applied for a History Colorado grant through the Certified Local Government Program. Our grant project was focused on doing a survey for the 74 buildings, and we were not successful with the grant. It's really competitive, and kind of some of the feedback we heard was it's not uncommon for it to take a couple of tries with this particular program. There's no grant match required, so it's super competitive. But the good news is we got feedback from the reviewers, and so I wanted to share, and Tara got the feedback too. I don't know if she shared it with you all, but we did get some very constructive feedback, and I think there's an opportunity for us to be more prepared as we look at applying again next year. So a little bit on the timeline. Last year, the announcement for the grant came out in October. There was a letter of intent due in December. The actual application itself was due in January, and announcements for awards were made in March. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So really between now and January is when we want to make sure we cover all our bases and make sure if there's anything that we can do to make a stronger application that we do. So that's where I wanted to make sure you all have this on your radar, and if you have suggestions or feedback for me or for Tara on ideas you have on how we can make it stronger, that would be wonderful. And if I don't know how much time we have, Tara, but I wanted to maybe share a little bit of the feedback just to plant the seeds with you all, and then obviously if you're interested in the full feedback, we have it electronically, we can share it with you.
Yeah, you could give it to Tara and give it to us.
So the one thing I will say when looking at feedback from reviewers is grant reading and reviewing is highly subjective. So in some categories we scored very consistently. So for example, in section 3, project description, there were a total of 20 points available. From two of the reviewers, we scored 17 points. Third reviewer, we scored 14 points. So by comparison, and then so another example would be the timeline. So on one of the reviewers scored us a 5 out of 5. One of them gave us a 4 out of 5. One of them gave us a 2 out of 5. So when we have that kind of variation, I really look at the low score person and their feedback, because I feel like the other two were fairly consistent in, their perception of what we gave them. So there are 8 sections to this grant, and there's a whole manual on how to address the criteria. But so I'm just going to give you a couple of overviews. So one of the weaknesses overall for the grant, they said the application did not explain how the survey benefits the public when it's complete. They also said the application does not explain changes to the city over time, previous exclusions or threats that might necessitate a survey plan. So those are things that you all might have more insight on that maybe I didn't, or I didn't incorporate at the level it needed to be. So I'm totally open to how to make that better. Another reviewer said our application weakness was, I would have liked more in the public outreach and promotion section, details of when meetings are expected and how they will be promoted. The scope of work and budget is based on a bid for a much larger project, and that's something we can address a little. We had a hard time getting
Quotes.
a quote. So Tara had reached out to numerous vendors. This is a highly specialized bid. Only certain qualified vendors are even allowed to submit a bid. This project, even though it's big for us, is not big in the world of this genre. So, I think, and then not only is the project not considered huge, we were breaking that project down into phase
Phases.
1, phase 2, and phase 3 because the limitations that we have with
Cost. Because it's such a small project for us, but I mean, it's for us, it's a big project because we're doing 74 buildings. But for the companies that I was reaching out to, they wanted to do it all at once. They didn't want to phase it down because to them, that's a lot of work on their end to phase it. For us, it's what we needed to pay for it because History Colorado is not giving large grants right now.
Yeah. So the last kind of feedback I'll put out there right now is they want to know how it's going to benefit the community, how this first phase fits into the large phase. They want to know why did we pick these 74 buildings as the first phase. They kind of want to see some logic as to why we're saying phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So those are things that we're going to be working on. The part that when it comes to community involvement and public benefit and outreach, like they said, not much public benefit information is provided. More information on this would be helpful. And I know that you all have been involved in like Santa Fe Trail Days this year, so we're excited about that. We're excited about the insert you did in your pamphlet and the scavenger hunt you have going on right now. I think all of those things are really going to enhance this section of our application next year. But I know that you all will have ideas that I don't think of. So
I'd like to have like a meeting with the public, so they can give the feedback on what they would like to see. And I mean, if that would answer one of the questions on the public outreach and what it would benefit the community if the community is here providing that, so I'd like to see us set up a meeting even if nobody shows up,
show effort and so one more thing. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna just keep throwing a couple more things in there. The application would have been approved with letters that weren't from the city themselves or preservation professionals. So you all probably interact with people maybe more involved in historic preservation, whether it's people in the community trying to get the landmark or whatever it is. If we can maybe get some support or try to find a way to harness their enthusiasm about historic preservation. And I know, Lisa, I see stuff that you do all the time on Facebook. I think that's awesome. I know there's lots of people out there that are really, really embrace this. And so just trying to figure out how can we harness that, whether we're talking about literally people putting things on our community's social networks or things like that. I mean, that's where I think you all can give me feedback on how I can do a better job of that. But I really like your idea of trying to get the community involved. The other section that is really hard for rural communities to quantify is how this type of a grant will impact underrepresented communities. Larger communities have full board studies and quantifiable data on this. And we have stats about, very high level information, but we really want to try to find a way to take that high level data and translate it into how does preserving historic properties and preserving historic character in our community impact underrepresented communities.
What about just for like housing?
That's an idea, definitely.
We had a hard time with this question. We were going back and forth on how a survey on our historic town helps the unprivileged.
Well, it's not just unprivileged.
Well, but
the his-
minority, like for us, our minority is not Hispanic, we don't have, like, our minority, we're so mixed here.
Yeah.
But if there is something compelling about our Hispanic history that's tied to a historic building that's on the survey list, or if we're creating housing in our community because we have this, you know, demand and need for housing or low-income housing specifically, if we know that will be influenced by our survey, we definitely want to talk about
Dang
that.
it, that should have been what we were on, because the reason I chose those 74 buildings was because it's right here where we're doing the Church Street and Animas Street redo for the Holy Trinity project. And that's the reason I focused on these buildings here, because it's where we're focusing on our biggest project right now, and that's low income housing,
And isn't that like all like
historic buildings.
Italian?
Well,
No, not in that area,
No.
no, it's,
Also, I thought, looking through the library, those binders that they have.
that's
for
what we're
survey,
doing, that's what our
I
survey.
feel like this area has already been done.
So our survey is a resurvey. That's the reason we're having to do it, is because we've hit our we've hit our mark
Okay,
on how long it's been between our last survey
because
and
it
this
was
survey.
2001.
Yeah, so it's been so long, it's actually the CGL that is requiring us to do the new survey.
And may I ask, what benefits did we get from the first survey?
I use those binders on a weekly basis. I have customers that come in, clients, people that come in, they want the history on the buildings that they're looking at purchasing or the area that they're looking to look into. I get people that get copies from me.
As far as like, was anything redone from that survey? You know what I mean? Like, is that
On that,
the survey's not gonna do
is that one space to create?
No, the survey's not
survey
gonna focus on
The
that.
survey is only going to be a tool for us to monitor the historic resources in town.
And it's gonna
It's
allow
a
people
list.
to see those buildings, right?
Sure, it's a list of what's historic.
Right.
And then it lets us and the other community members.
Or potential buyers
Potential
or,
buyers, yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm
It's-
saying. That's what,
Yeah.
did we
Okay.
get any benefit from that last survey
we
where
did.
people came in and said, hey, I wanna invest in your town?
Yeah, no, we did.
Okay, so then there's a benefit,
Yeah,
right?
no, but it's focusing, they want us to focus on the how did they word it?
Underrepresented
There you go.
communities.
Right.
So, and
This
that's,
community is, in total, is underrepresented. I mean, it was a coal community that was left in the dust. I mean, how can you get,
so when you think about that population, how does updating our survey impact, potentially benefit that need, that issue?
and that's exactly what I'm trying to get at with,
Yeah,
with the questioning. Like,
we had to choose, so when we first started the grant, we were gonna go with the full survey. But when we were getting quotes back, that was gonna be 3 times the amount of what we could get for a grant. So when I talked to Lindsay, which is from History Colorado, she recommended doing it in phases, and she said 3 phases. So break it down into 3. So when we were looking at how to break down the survey, I asked companies what was their recommendation. She said, a couple of them said, pick a spot in your city and choose that location to do the survey on. And then the next phase you'll add more in, and then the next phase you'll add more in. Because originally what we wanted to do with this survey was to stretch our boundaries. History Colorado highly dissuaded that, because they said that in all honesty, if we start stretching, we need to actually break our historic areas up and have 2 separate historic areas instead of having just one giant one. So they said that for that would be a whole totally different survey, and that costs way too much. So I chose the center, so I chose 74 houses or buildings going down Animas Church and now I can't remember. Common. It was
But I think,
74 buildings.
What you're talking about with the community conversation, is that something we could bring back to this group and to whoever's interested, is to say, okay, this is the scope of our project, we're looking at, these are our choices, we've got this many properties that History Colorado has told us or asked us to please resurvey, help us prioritize what those should be and why. And then,
That might
soliciting
help.
that feedback will strengthen our rationale for why this
Sure.
project. But also, just a little bit of scope for you all to, I think our project, was 27,000, it was just under 30,000. And that's right at the cap of what, was available last year. Obviously, I reached out to Lindsay, our contact at History Colorado today, asking, is this project still a go this year? There's so many budget things that are in flux right now that, they don't automatically offer these programs. It depends on the condition of budget. So even if it's not offered this year, it will come back at some point. But I'm optimistic that it will be offered. And it will be in a similar range. So the quotes that we had gotten back from the contractor for the larger scale was closer to 80,000. And so we were looking at breaking it into the 3 groupings, knowing that over time those costs likely increase as well. So just trying to, and then hopefully we'd have a little bit wiggle room to add some structures into the existing footprint. And that's one of the things, since 50 years have passed since the original core zone was created, the History Colorado really wants to know, are there new buildings in the existing footprint that are now eligible for this designation that weren't when we first started this? So, that's another item that we should be thinking about. So, my follow-up and next steps are to stay in touch with Lindsay, to stay in touch with Tara, and to start to work on how we can strengthen these areas that were weaknesses last time, and hopefully build some momentum with the community interests that might be out there with this.
So if we come up with ideas or thoughts or feedback for you, can we email? Okay, yeah.
Email me and then I'll email over to
Yeah.
Carrie.
Okay, yeah.
And I welcome that.
Would you be willing to present anything to the community if we did have a meeting?
I am willing to help however I can. I don't feel like I'm your expert. I feel like I'm the person that's taking all the information and putting it into the format that's required. But I feel like you all are much stronger experts in this area than I am, but I will be there. I'll help however I can. And if you feel differently or if you want me to present on something specific with some leeway, I'm happy to help however I can.
Anything else? I don't think so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all, I
Let me
appreciate
know
it.
what Lindsay says.
Okay, yeah,
I'll let you
definitely
know.
keep you in touch. Okay, thank you.
Alright, 6B, the Children's Museum. Is it?
So I have some information from Tara. I just talked to her today about it actually, because she hadn't gotten back to me yet. She wants us to talk about changing the name. She doesn't want it called Children's Museum anymore, because it's misleading. Because we're not planning on using it as a children's museum probably, and it wasn't used for that for very long. She thinks we should go back to some of maybe our historic titles for it.
Firehouse?
It was originally the original firehouse. It was also City Hall.
And go for jail.
There's also a jail. There is a jail still downstairs, and she said make sure we check that out when we go down and look at it. But she wants us to think of a new name for it so that we can get it changed in everybody's minds.
Makes sense.
But she wants to see what you guys wanted to vote on it for it.
And
And then to let us know what day and time you guys wanna go, and I need the key, we can go over there and look at it. So whenever you guys are available.
I'm open, so it's all we need.
It might have to be a Saturday, huh?
maybe,
Yeah, cause I figured you're gonna be.
or after 4:10.
Well, we could do it afternoon if that works for you guys. That's fine with me. So why don't you guys look at your guys' schedules and shoot me an email, and then I can pick out a time and date that we can all go.
We're gonna try to do this in like the next couple of weeks.
It's up to you guys.
Couple of weeks.
I say the sooner the better.
Yeah, I heard there's a jail down there.
That's what Tara was reminding me. She said last time it had Halloween decorations still down there, so it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, see it.
But yeah, then what you guys would think about for what we wanna call it from now on, so we change the name on it.
Well, I think we should go back and look at that survey.
Yep.
And get ideas from the survey.
That'd be a good idea.
And that's at the library.
And I have copies. I can scan them and shoot them over to you guys if you want.
Alright, anything else in there?
I think we should.
I am meeting with Winter Roybal, which is the we had a meeting with her, the History Colorado contact for our area or region, to find out about getting the historic assessments done on that building, this building, the library, and the annex. We're having problems with the library right now. Their drains aren't working properly, so every once in a while you get.
Stinks.
Yes. We've tried everything, we can't figure it out, so the only other option, it's never been historically assessed, which Tara is actually, she said she pushed for it last time. And it hadn't been done yet, so she wants an assessment done on the building, so we can figure out what the problem is. And at that time, we wanted to do the old City Hall building, there we go. It's gonna take me forever to get it in my head to stop calling it Children's Museum.
Force our hand to call it city.
No, I'm trying to call it something else, I don't keep calling it the Children's Museum. So that we can get it assessed, so that we can go the next stage on what we wanna change it or do with it, landmark it, everything. So, but I will let you guys know when that meeting is, and, cause Tara wants to meet with her, so. And she would help us figure out how to get that money.
I know, Toro wants to do something with it too. But like I said, it's tough because we're looking at it from a historic perspective where we have to do it a certain way, and Toro's looking at it from a money-making perspective.
Yeah, Tara's whole line of thinking, and that's one thing we've had an issue with Pat, is you gotta look at the TIF, how to make money off of it.
Yeah.
And city, we don't look at it that way.
Right.
I mean, if we make money off of it, awesome. If we don't, we don't. We wanna keep it historic because it is one of our most historic buildings in the town. So if we ever do anything, we probably wouldn't sell it, and that's what Tura wants to do with it, is that they
Oh, really?
Well, remember what Pat said, hold on to it and keep original hands on it while we keep the project going, but then the end time is to sell it to make money off of it.
Whereas our perspective is to
How to preserve the building
Preserve it.
itself.
get it used, right?
Mhm.
Get something in there.
On Tara's recommendation right now, and this is her recommendation just by her head, she wants to turn it into probably like a board's meeting room area. Like our boards can meet there
That's what I was,
and things
more
like
like
that.
an
But
education.
exactly,
yeah.
but you're never gonna make money off of that, so Tura
No.
wouldn't be able to get their hands in there to help us. She's pushing for a big budget on property maintenance and property planning with the buildings, that's why she wants to do the assessment on the buildings, so that we can figure out where we can go next step. If we can get enough of a chunk of money for next year, we can turn it towards fixing and repairing the buildings. That's why we need the assessment to know what we can do with that building. Because it's a historic building, we can get away from ADA on some stuff. Because if to make it ADA would require damaging the building, we wouldn't be able to do that, so that we can get a waiver.
And then, as far as like the city activating it, isn't there some to where like half of it has to be for housing or something like
No.
that? No?
That was for,
A certain grant?
well, for a certain grant, for Housing Now grant.
Okay.
That one we wouldn't be able to do with that building anyways, but like I said, Tara's idea is to turn it into a meeting
Board
place.
meeting.
Yeah, being able to have board meetings, city council meetings sometimes.
That's great, cause I was thinking like an education thing, and I was talking to Pat about it, and he was like, "Oh, that's what they just did." we just got a something $1 million grant for the school, Eckerd School, whatever it is, right there. The little,
That must be for Los Alamos County, then not for us, cause we haven't done anything with that.
well, I know I seen an advertisement for it. It was like you could rent the classroom for $7. Yeah, and then teach. So you can hold the classroom like that. It's exactly what I was thinking we could do with the children.
Yeah, and that's what, she wants to do something that would be useful for the city. So like what we do with Commons, we rent it out as an event space.
Yeah.
So that's what she wants to do, but we have to figure out if we can. That's what the assessment would do. We'd go in there and see if it can be turned into that. So I'll have a meeting with Winter Roybal to see what we would need to do the assessment, because Tara couldn't remember what the requirements are. So we need
Is
to
it
have.
on any registers?
Yes.
It is. Okay. Then we should just go ahead and get a landmark done.
That's one
It's already on
thing.
the register, but
That's one thing that the assessment would help us do with it. Oh, there's Tara.
Hi, have you guys started yet?
Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to thank
You missed
Lisa.
Carrie.
I did, February 1st. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, I met with the 250, 150, 150 this week and updated them.
Very nice.
We got 5 months and a few days left.
And you saw all the articles?
I did, I loved it. Thank you so much, and then your hint let us define the actual act from the Colorado Territorial Legislature that was done February 1st. It said oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, I don't have it in my, oh, hi.
Hello.
It set the boundaries of the town at 3/4 mile
From
from
first,
the center of the intersection of Main and Commercial Street in September. Pretty neat.
That's neat.
Yeah, it was really neat. Thank you for finding that article. I've been looking for this since about my second week.
I know.
Sorry, I know you've already done public comment.
You are perfectly fine. You're the boss. It's
We were
okay.
actually just talking about you.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, about your ideas for the Not Children Museum.
Okay, yeah. What do you guys think?
She wants to call it a jail. Dude.
I was not. I just said there was a jail in
Yes,
there.
you'll like it. It's old.
Oh no, City Hall. You
I
said
was saying
City
it was
Hall.
old City Hall. She's just worried if we call it that, people are gonna try and drop the buildings off their utilities.
Old City Hall's good, fire station's good, jail was on the bottom floor, fire station on the main floor, and City Hall on the top floor. I think when they made it a children's museum, they actually changed the council chamber to be like a schoolroom. So we might wanna think about putting it back to a council chamber. I don't know,
Yeah.
whatever you guys are thinking, but the original fire pole is still there.
Yeah, so that's where we're planning on doing the walkthrough as soon as we can find out a date we can all go.
Right.
We'll let you know so you can come visit.
And so in terms of uses, we would have to look at 2 things, safety and accessibility. So some sort of elevator system or lift, which you would actually do on the back, separate from the original building. So you could go up and down. So you wouldn't actually change the original structure, you would just put it on the back.
Kind of like what we did or what they did in
Frank's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would step, and then, it would be connected, but it would be connected where you would get off on the floors, and you could go to each floor, you could do something like that. Safety, we'd have to look at probably sprinkler systems or something like that.
That's what, I was talking to her, we were gonna talk to Winter Roybal.
Okay,
And she sent me an email, so I'll send it
Good.
over to you about times and dates.
okay,
And then we'll figure out next step for assessments
okay, good, of these 3 buildings here,
and
and the children's, or the
no
city
children's
hall.
museum.
No children, city
No
hall, I don't know.
City Hall.
I can't, it's gonna
I
take
like
me
old
forever to get it out
If
of
you
my
look
head.
at the pictures from like the 1840s or 50s, so before we were even a town, it's just dirt in that building.
Oh really?
Yeah, we can
It's
pull
the
some
oldest-
original, it's the oldest, one of the, if
One
not
of
the
the
oldest
oldest, yeah.
buildings in town.
Wow.
So we definitely want to celebrate it. I don't know if the bell in the cupola still works.
We'll have to check it out when we go.
Don't break it.
No, I'll let one of them do that.
Okay, there you go. And then you can slide down the pole, just sign your waiver first.
Okay. I'll make sure I'm on the clock so it's not working, it's working.
And I think Chief has an old fire truck in there.
Yes, he does. He's told me that we have to be careful of.
Bertha Sandoval was a volunteer at the Welcome Center. Her husband was a fireman who worked out of that station. So that was pretty cool.
That is neat.
Yeah, the stories. Okay, enjoy your visit. And I'll be interested to hear how it goes.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Bye, Tom. Thank you.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, but she's taking
Well,
half a day.
I won't see him. Well, I'll probably see him.
She said she's taking a half a day, which is she hasn't done since she started here, so. And usually, actually, she gets here at like 6:30 in the morning, and usually leaves 6. So. Alrighty, so I will get that taken care of and let you guys, you let me know what days you have available and I will get the key.
Alright, and then moving on up. 6C, the fire station. Like I said, I'm totally sorry about that. I'm gonna have to table that.
Alright, do you need anything else from me? I can send you over, we might have, no, it wouldn't be on the survey, it's too far outside.
No.
I can get compass information for you though.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
If you could tell me a year that it was built, I could look at the microfilm in the library and try to find information that way.
That would be good, okay,
I just need a year.
okay. Fire chief might have that, I'll get that from him.
Item 6D, discussion of next projects.
I didn't know what you guys, I mean, I know we're doing the landmarking, but I didn't know if there's anything else that you guys wanted to add for the next meeting or next anything.
Well, we should probably talk about if we're gonna do the longitude tour again.
That's coming up.
It's gonna come up.
Oh, dude,
Way
it is, yeah, way
sooner
too
than-
soon. I think so, I mean, you guys had a good turnout last year.
We just gotta find somebody else to do it, cause I don't wanna give the tour.
You did a good job.
You have to find somebody who's willing to do the tour.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, would anybody from history or the history museum wanna do it? Be willing to do
I
it?
tried to get him to last year,
No.
and they flaked on me.
What about Chris?
Oh, he might, but he'd wanna focus on railroad.
So it's something we can start thinking about, cause I got the whole script
Yeah,
typed up,
So
so.
do you have a script and everything?
Yeah, I got a script, it's all the info's there.
I could ask my mom, I mean, she was interested in doing it.
I know she wasn't, I was so annoyed.
So maybe I
they
can see if she's
dropped
willing
the
to
ball.
do it, she'd scare the pants off some kids.
Right?
Well, so she used to do the history walk in Pueblo.
Right.
She dressed up as the little, I'm gonna butcher it, the little, the scary lady from the
The
water.
whaling.
Yeah.
Yep.
The wailing woman, yes. She used to dress up like that and scare the bejeebus out of people. She's really good at it. But I can see if she's willing, if we could, since we do it ahead of time this time, maybe I can get her.
Yeah, and she said that she wanted to be involved with it last year, but yeah, just things happened.
Well, let's ask her really. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I'll talk to her, cause
and
she's
she-
starting school, so she, now would be the best time to ask her.
And some of the feedback I did get from last year was folks want, I think we need to do at least 2 tours. One that's like the weekend before, and one that's maybe on Halloween, because several people came to me and were like, oh, I really wish that it was on Halloween because there's so much stuff that night that they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So I think doing one like the Saturday beforehand and doing one on Halloween night might be actually pretty beneficial.
Yeah, or like even thinking, broadening it and thinking of October as a whole spooky month, spooky history month.
It's a possibility. I think that since Halloween's on Friday this year, we do it the weekend before, like the Saturday before, and then do it maybe this, I don't know, cause everybody on Friday, on Halloween, everybody's, especially the kids, they're they're busy. I mean, you're
I would probably do, I would say the one for Halloween night should be more adult focused.
Adult, okay. Yeah, that's good.
Do a kid
Yeah.
focused one the weekend before, and then that night's gonna be everybody who's out for Halloween parties and stuff like that. Cause it was mostly adults last year,
I
so
mean,
like 80-90% of us.
They do like a family friendly version and then like an
A really
adult-
creepy, scary one.
Yeah, and then even maybe like have a culminating activity in the commons, like with
Oh, they're booked out.
beverages.
I think they're booked out to December for the Commons right now. They're having events every week almost.
That's good. Or even the Hive.
No, that's
Just
true.
meet at the Hive afterward and talk to Krista and maybe she could do some type of Halloween cocktail.
She'd probably be on board with that.
Probably, yeah.
Alrighty, I will see if we can get my mom to do if not my mom, I could possibly get my cousin. She might do it. She's creepy. In a good way.
On camera.
I'm 45, I will tell her to her face.
I was just about to remind her that.
I'm not scared. He knows my cousin, he's fine.
She did that in a good way.
I did mean that in a good way. She is creepy. She dresses up really well. She does the same thing my mom does. So she does she did the face makeup and all of the hair and stuff. She does a lot of tours and stuff. So
Moving on to item 7, reports. Chairperson's report. I have nothing. Commissioners' reports. Nothing. City planning assistant reports.
nothing. I've already told you guys everything.
All right. Let's adjourn.
Alrighty.
We don't vote for that,
No. I never understood why Turin does that.